Eat my shit!
There are so many different ways that anime can draw us in. Pulse-pounding action, heart-wrenching drama, powerful acting, or beautiful animation can all grab us and make us keep watching. But before it can reel you in, a show needs to hook you, and the first hook cast is almost always the OP, or opening credits. A great OP sets the tone for the show, tells you enough about the world and characters to get you interested, and, in an ideal world, acts as a kick-ass music video in its own right. Not all OPs are created equally though, and since I'm now selling out, I've taken it upon myself to steal Supreme Shillionaire Mother's Basement's video formula and ask, what's in an OP? This week, how moe is used to hide dark undertones in Nisemonogatari's third opening, Platinum Disco. But before that, use promo code ROOM to get a month of free hentai at creamypie.com/room, and for each person who uses that code, I realised that joking about being a sellout is all it takes for me to not feel guilty about being one. The opening shot shows the heroine of the arc, Tsukihi, appearing as the very embodiment of moe, dancing in a way that can only be described as kawaii as fuck. There's something very artificial about this cuteness, and it comes off as something no human would do, unless they're trying too hard to be liked by the people surrounding them, rather fitting considering the true nature of Tsukihi as a character. This idea is further reinforced as the credits, which are actually incorporated into the visuals by covering up Tsukihi's face, show how both Araragi and the audience don't see what Tsukihi truly is. We're only getting a small glimpse at the outline of her face, letting us think that she's human, while her kawaii as fuck dance distracts us. We don't think it's necessary to take a closer look at what might be inside. This then transitions to two different versions of Tsukihi continuing to dance, representing the two truths of her as a character. More on that later. Behind them is a silhouette of the protagonist Koyomi Araragi as he's covered by her arms. He's overwhelmed by her presence, only able to see a small amount of his sister, the surface level to her character. She continues to dance, but something has changed. Out of the two dancing Tsukihis, one is much more upfront and in her face than the other. Araragi prioritizes one truth, one version of Tsukihi, the fact that she's his little sister. The other, more sinister reality is placed further off and upside down, letting us know that despite its importance, Araragi didn't even know that it existed. The two Tsukihis are covered by close-ups of a bigger Tsukihi before passing and revealing that Tsukihi is still dancing. This time she's placed further away and standing straight. It shows the perfect image Araragi has of his little sister, but without that unknown truth, something is off. She's no longer as big as she was before. She's no longer whole. It's a shallow mockery of who his sister actually is, emphasised by the lack of symmetry in the shot. She's eventually covered by a giant flurry of her own dancing hands, with her face looking up expectantly at the viewer. As the shot passes and the hands vanish, she falls down, satisfied. The reason is revealed as we find Araragi opening his mouth. Tsukihi sits in his tongue without moving. She isn't as lively as she was before, she just sits there. The fact that the focus is on Araragi's mouth would suggest that he's talking, but as the movement stops, you can tell that something is clearly wrong. He's describing how he sees his sister, not fully correct, but it's enough to satisfy her. This minor reaction she has before the next shot really helps to sell this idea. Now we have Tsukihi in the foreground and Araragi's face in the background, most noticeably his eye. Tsukihi's face grows unnaturally, eventually covering this up. Her moe elements are blinding Araragi to her truth, and as a result, what he sees is a warped imitation of who she really is. After this, we get legs. Each individual pair moves naturally, but as a whole, it's unnatural. The reason is revealed almost instantly as Tsukihi cuts in and starts dancing. A pair of birds appear in the background and the leg movement changes. The metaphor in this shot is obvious. The second truth about Tsukihi is that she isn't human. She's a phoenix, more or less, a bird apparition that infiltrates a mother's womb to be raised as one of their young. Oh yeah, spoilers I guess. This is why I say that the metaphor is obvious in the shot. The change in leg movements mimics that of a bird flapping its wings, an obvious representation of Tsukihi's hidden identity. Tsukihi still dances, desperately trying to convince both Araragi and the audience that she's still human. We see Araragi's silhouette again, watching as Tsukihi's two heads move. Their movement once again mimics that of a bird, further reinforcing that she is a phoenix. It also shows two versions of Tsukihi, this time flip-flopping between one another, making them indistinguishable. There are, after all, numerous truths to this one character. Just like how there are numerous truths to this one scene, as hidden under Araragi's silhouette you can see two birds. The brief movement he has before moving on shows that Araragi has finally realised exactly what his little sister is, which he admits in the next shot, as this time we can see Tsukihi dancing in Araragi's mouth. He finally admits the truth he never knew about his sister, and she's more lively and happy as a result. The OP cuts to Araragi's eyes looking at two lower halves of his sister dancing. They're broken, like his perfect image of her, but At the same time, there's a symmetry in the frame, leaving a general sense of wholeness. Finally, we see Tsukihi dancing with her other truths, as they all vanish, leaving her as a whole. Araragi has accepted that Tsukihi is his sister. They were raised together their whole lives. This imposter right now is more real at Tsukihi than the Tsukihi he never knew could have been. The final shot is of her letting birds take her place. Araragi knows she's a phoenix, a fake, but still accepts her as who she is. A truly uplifting finale to such a dark and sad story. Before I move on to a lyrical analysis, remember to use promo code ROOM to get a month of free hentai at creamypie.com/room, and for each person who uses the code, I'll lose a bit more of my soul. The first line of the song, according to the Nisemonogatari wiki, is translated as, "Just take a step forward in the world whose surface is platinum in my eyes." This shows the idea of not seeing truths. Platinum is something valuable, and you can't tell much from taking things at surface value, so the invitation to only look at the surface of something and treat it as valuable is exactly the same theme as in the animation. The next line, "Let's dance together to the beat in my chest that will never cease," further establishes the moe front Tsukihi is trying to put on. The moon that I found behind you on that day is still flashing and shimmering like a disco ball in the night sky. Might not sound like that big of a line, but it's actually the cleverest by far. Tsuki is a Japanese word for moon, which I'll never forget after a silent voice, and by merely adding the character he, we get Tsukihi's name. This basically means that the Tsukihi behind Tsukihi is still important, still the same person she was before. Fed up with the things that change and the things that never change. This line refers to how annoying it is that a conflict was created from merely finding out the truth. How Araragi perceives his sister has changed, but the fact that she is his sister has not. He's fed up with having to deal with yet another aberration, as well as this new truth thrust upon him. For the first time, I learned of this eternity which I'll pledge to you. Shows how Araragi finally found out that Tsukihi is immortal, and he's coming to terms with that truth. It doesn't matter what she is, but who she is. She's not an aberration, but his little sister. Even though I'm platinum happy, I get platinum sad and cry platinum tears. Ignoring the word platinum here, as is a reference to Tsukihi's character in the show, using it to emphasize emotions, there is substance in this line. It's saying that Tsukihi's usual happiness never lasts long. Life is a terrible place, and we constantly have to deal with things that we don't like and that make us sad. It might also reflect the Phoenix's instinctive feelings towards being found out. Even though it's happy to not have to hide anymore, it's sad knowing that its relationship with Araragi will never be the same again. It's a lot more open to interpretation, but it makes the following rhetorical questions, how, why, make a lot more sense. She doesn't know how or why she got discovered, making the reveal even more unpleasant. The final line, disco heck, it means disco. There's a lot of dancing. Before I move on, I want to remind people to use the promo code ROOM to get a month of free hentai at creamypie.com/room, and for each person who uses the code, I die a little more inside. There's a lot of hidden depth, thought, and effort put into this song and its OP. Its moe aesthetic allows us to instantly understand what Tsukihi's character is supposed to be, but it's also a genuinely memorable piece of music for the show to take advantage of. There's a song that played in the last episode called Bird of Death, played at the point where the truth about Tsukihi is revealed. It's an instrumental version of the theme, played in a completely different tone. It's one of the most emotional songs in all of anime, at least YouTube seems to think so, and it perfectly represents the mindset that the viewer goes through, from sad and confused to motivated to help Tsukihi. Platinum Muhatsuka, oh Muhatsuka, it's not in English, ooh, what is English? Also gets its melody from Platinum Disco, this time as a soft piano solo. It's played at the end of the final episode when all of the problems being a phoenix has provided are over and Araragi finally has a sincere conversation with Tsukihi. In both scenarios the songs themselves are good, but their meaning is further enhanced by being different versions of Platinum Disco. We formed a relationship with all the dumb moe elements the song provided. We recognise it as Tsukihi's song. We feel sad when we hear how sad it's become, completely different to the happy and energetic character the song introduced. That is a work of genius. That's what's in the OP Platinum Disco. Thanks for watching. I'm Ahego, signing out from my room. But before that, remember to use promo... Fuck it. Yeah, this isn't working out. I'm 17 years old, and I make shitty anime videos as a hobby. It's something I do for fun. Why should I care so much about my sub count? Why should I stop putting personality into my content? For money? I mean, I don't need that right now. For Andrew? Why should I care about what he thinks? Oh my god. How is it taking me that long to figure that out? It's my channel, I can do what I want with it. I don't need his approval, I don't need anyone's approval. I just need to make it what I want. I just need to make sure it's not something I don't want. I don't want it to be one of those channels that you watch because, hey, I'm watching that show right now. I want to be someone that people can't wait to get more content from. I know I'm nowhere near that level yet, but I could reach it someday. It's something that I can improve. All these heartless, career-chasing channels won't ever reach that point. Sure, looking at Mother's Basement channel, you can tell that he's really successful, but at the same time, who cares? I don't even remember the last time I watched one of his videos. You know who I do care about? Someone like Demo, someone who has one of the most personality-driven channels on YouTube. He's someone who, despite having not uploaded to YouTube in almost 2 years, has countless fans desperate for more content, myself included. He's someone where even a person I know who's grown to despise everything related to anime would watch a new video if it came out because he's just that interesting. He's someone whose content I've rewatched time and time again. He's someone whose content I love. Could you say that about any one of Jeff's seasonal whatever videos? Sorry for being so preachy. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not cut out for this sellout shite. We have to say cringy things like,
You can watch free for 30 days at crunchyroll.com/basement out of the wall.
New videos come out whenever they're ready, bitch!